Johanna.
Hello guys, I am back today with a new video. It's actually going to be a new series. This is going to be the first episode in the series, and this series is going to be a little bit different to what I usually do on my channel because it's going to be a bit more scrapbooky as compared to like journaling, but it's still memory keeping and I'm still going to get pretty creative with it. You may be able to tell already, or you may already know because I haven't mentioned this on my Instagram, but this series is going to be all about creating my third baby's first year baby book. So my other two children already have first year albums that I did in this style as well, Project Life style, more of a hybrid between 12 by 12 and Project Life pockets, but more traditional type scrapbooking as compared to journaling. The reason that I like to do this format of memory keeping for the first year is because I like to take a lot of photos, and I find that especially in that first year I have so many photos and I like to have them really chronological just for that first year. I guess just because in that first year your baby is reaching all the different milestones and kind of they grow so much in that first year that it's really nice to have a very chronological overlook at it, which is usually not my style at all, but for the first year albums I really do prefer that. So as of filming this first episode, my baby is due in about 3 weeks, so that's really no time at all, and I've been planning to start this series earlier than now, but I'm only just now getting around to it. So today's episode, which is the first episode, is really just an introduction video. I'm going to talk you through some of my plans, how I plan to tackle this project. I'm also going to show you all of the supplies I've been pulling together. Most of it's just from my own stash, some things that I've been making, and then there's some stuff that I've bought as well. So you can see here I've got my album ready. I've still got it in the packet just to keep it protected. This album is a faux leather Project Life album by Becky Higgins, and I went with the baby pink one because I already have 2 boys and we've been told we're having a girl, and so I'm really embracing the pinks, not too much pinks, but lots of florals and that kind of thing, so I'm going to have fun with that. So this is the album that I have. So before I go ahead and show you the supplies that I have, I'll talk a little bit about my plans. So in my previous 2 boys albums, I did include a lot of the pregnancy journaling in these albums, and then I went into the first year. This time around I decided to cut out some of that bulk that the pregnancy part can add to the album and just keep it first year. So I've actually been doing my pregnancy journaling in a pocket page notebook, traveler's notebook insert, which I'll share a flip through of very soon. And so this album's just going to be pretty much her first year. So I may do like a few pages that are about her name or like about the nursery or something, but I'm not going to document the actual pregnancy in this album just because my other albums got so bulky and I want to have enough space in here just to keep it all in one book. So I've started writing out some notes of how I'm going to structure the album. Just briefly in this video, I'll tell you it's just going to be mostly the birth, probably choosing the name, maybe a couple of photos of preparing. So there's going to be pictures from the early days, and then we're just going to go straight into like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, up to 12 months, and then the birthday. And I'll probably also have a page or 2 dedicated to firsts, like first started walking, first started eating, that kind of thing. I will talk about that in more detail probably in the next episode. But for now, I think I'm just going to show you how I have things set up and prepared. Since I know I'm going to be really, really busy after the baby's born, I am fully expecting to not have much time to make many things. And so this project is going to become probably the one thing that I really push myself to get finished because I don't want to get behind on it. Which is one of the reasons why I decided to make this a series, because if this is the only real memory keeping I'm going to have time to do, then I figured at least I should share that with you guys so you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I have things set up. So over here, this is a Raskog cart from IKEA. I ended up getting a second cart because I had a Kmart cart and a Raskog cart, but I found the Kmart cart really difficult to use. So I ended up getting a second Raskog, and this is where I am keeping my Project Life supplies and my scrapbook supplies for the baby album. So the top tier here is mostly stuff for the baby album. This is the stuff that I've kind of pulled out from my stash and kept separate just so that it's all there within reach. Things that I know that I would like to use in the album, things that I feel like go together. So in the top I have this organizer here, this plastic organizer, and this is like a bathroom caddy from Kmart, but I keep little things in here because it's divided. And so I've just got a bunch of stuff in little dividers. So things like little vintage images and little floral bags, little vintage cards, flashcards and envelopes and paper bags. I've also got some enamel dots here. They kind of awkwardly fit in there, but just so that I have some right there on hand. I don't do much Project Life, so I don't really have a lot of embellishments of this kind, but I've just got some of them here in case I do want to use them. Here in the back I've just got some little scalloped shapes and little bits and bobs. Some of that I've actually been sent, but cute little baby images. And then I've got some more embellishments over here, like chipboard embellishments. Just little bits and pieces that I might want to use in the album as well. I've got some fabric scraps as well. In this bigger compartment I've got the 4x6 cards that I want to use in the album. So these ones in the front here I've actually made. I'm going to actually bring it over here. So these ones here I actually made little vellum pockets. I just stitched some vellum together. It's hard to show you one-handed, but this is a pocket with a card, and I did 12 of those just so that I could have one of those each month to put the monthly updates. And then I've got a bunch of cards here that I thought I might like to use. There's lots of Maggie Holmes prints and just pretty florals. There's also some other random pieces here that I've cut down. So this is like from a book, some from magazines, and there's just a couple of other random bits and pieces, like little images that I've cut. So I've got those. So behind the cards I've also got a couple of little small paper pads, so pattern papers I've been hoarding, and in the back in this paper bag I've got some vintage pieces that I've been collecting as well. So cute little images of babies and some scrapbook papers, scraps and stuff like that. There's some doilies and stuff as well. In the back, in this little purple basket thing, I've got some embellishments that I might like to use. So I do have some Christmas ones here at the front because she is due just before Christmas. So I've got some Christmas embellishments. I've got some tiny word stickers and alphabet stickers. Just some pretty little, I know it's kind of hard for you to see, but just so you get an idea of what I've got collected. I've just got baby stickers, floral stickers, alphabet stickers, just some other decorative bits, more alphabet stickers and phrases, and yeah, lots of alphabet stickers. And then in the back I've got one of these clear wallets with some die cuts, and some of them are actual die cuts that I've bought in packets, some of them are left over from other packets, and then there's also like more random bits all together. So shapes that I've cut out of scrapbook papers, and yeah, lots of random pieces. So you guys are going to see that even though I'm doing scrapbooking, my style's still going to come through in that I don't really work from kits, I don't really work from paper collections, I just pull things that I like and I just work them together however I like to. Over here in this little container, these are little paper plates that I've fussy cut out of Maggie Holmes paper flea market, I think it's called. so I cut out heaps of those. I thought I could just use them as little embellishments. And then I've got these little numbers and alphabet pieces. These are supposed to be for those little signs. I forget what they're called, but they're like the Heidi Swap signs, so you can put your own phrases in them and stuff, but I thought I could just use them as embellishments. Some ribbon and twine, and then I've got some smaller cards back here. And these are the title cards that I made to use each month. I just did little quilted cards where I stitched patterns together, and I'm going to put the numbers on, those clear numbers on top. In the back I've just got some transparent Project Life cards, and then over in this little photo album thing, it's actually a photo album, it's very, very chunky, I've got embellishments. So by embellishments I mean I've also got things I've cut out of 12 by 12 papers, so stuff like that, little cut apart sheets. These are like reject shop embellishments, leftover baby embellishments I've had lying around, some florals. These are reject shop. These are some that I made. These are actually fabric on chipboard, and children's book images on chipboard. Some journal cards, some little vintage pieces. That's fussy cut out of paper. Some vintage paper dolls. This is the Maggie Holmes digital kit, so I printed it out and fussy cut a bunch of flowers. I've got some labels that I stamped out onto sticker paper, and some other images that I printed out and cut out. So the first tier is for baby stuff specifically, and then the second tier is just cards, all of the Project Life cards that I own. So if I do need extra cards, they're right there as well. And then on the bottom, that's more stuff that I've collected for the album. So like some plastic wallets. I got these dividers for the months. I ended up getting them in girl and boy because I didn't want to just use the girl colours. I wanted to have some blue in there as well. So I got them on sale. I got the boy and the girl, and I'm going to just mix them together. You can see on the back baby edition boy, or baby edition for him, and baby edition for her. And so the boy's got orange, blue and green, and the girl's got pink, yellow and orange. And so I'm going to swap some of the colours out so that I can have maybe some green and blue in there as well. So up here I also have the sleeves that I got for the book. So I got mostly design A here, and I also got some full size 12 by 12 and a couple of other sizes. And then in this big 12 by 12 container, this is where all the paper is. Mostly 12 by 12 sheets. I will take you over to my desk to show you a better look at those papers. And then beside that, this is just some embellishments, more general embellishments, not really baby themed, but like wood veneers and paper clips. There's some resin flowers and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a look at the papers that I've been collecting. I have more than enough, I feel, to do the entire album. And I am working with papers that are new and old collections. They're single sheets, and that's just sort of the way that I like to do it. I don't really like to just work from a kit or whatever. I kind of just prefer to make my own, and that way you can make it more of your own style as well. I feel like it makes it a little bit more unique. These are some digitals. So these are my linens printables, and I've got a bunch of them printed with a company just so that they would be waterproof and archival, so I could use them in the album. So there's some of those. I won't show you through those because you've already seen them. If you haven't seen them, I have videos on them already on my channel. This is from some paper, from a paper pad that I used up, and I thought that instead of throwing this away or cutting it up, I would actually just use it as a frame. So I can use this big circle as a frame for a 12 by 12 layout. So I've got that in there. In this first little sleeve, as I said, since the baby's coming so close to Christmas, I have been collecting things to use in the album for the Christmas layouts, even though I'll probably only do a couple of layouts for that time. I have more than enough here. So I have stickers, I've got scraps of Christmassy paper that I might like to use to make things, stickers. These all came in packs of paper that I bought. And then I've just kept a couple of sheets of paper here. Obviously, I'm not going to use all of these cut aparts at all. I'll probably use only a couple of them, but I've got them here just because I think they'll fit well with the style that the album's going to be, which is going to be kind of like a pretty vintage theme, so like lots of florals. And I usually am a really traditional Christmas colour person, but I feel like for this album, the softer colours like the pinks and the mints in this collection will work really, really well. And then under that I have more general themed papers, just papers that I thought were pretty, some that were a bit vintage, some that were, quite a lot of them are floral actually. And most of the stuff I pulled out from my stash. I pulled out from paper pads that I have in my stash, and yeah, I just kind of pulled things that I liked. Since I'm doing a girl album for the first time, which is different for me, I kind of went crazy with florals, which you're going to see. I thought about cutting some of this paper down ahead of time into card sizes, like 6x4 and 3x4, but I figured that it's better just to leave it as 12x12 because I am going to be doing both 12x12 and Project Life size pocket pages, so I wanted to give myself plenty of options with papers. And this is just so that I don't have to ever go into my stash when I'm working the album. I can just go straight to this Rascal cart in this box and pull out the papers that I have and choose from there. So I've got some baby papers. This is from the Little Boy Blue paper by Crate Paper, I believe. I did have to cut off the brand tags to fit them in this container, which is really annoying, but they just wouldn't fit with the brand tags, so I had to cut them off. This is also Crate Paper. I love this paper. It's one of my favorites. I say it every time. More florals here from my stash. Some baby papers. This is from Little Bo Peep, which is like the girl version of the Little Boy Blue. Some more pretty gingham. I've got some florals. These are all Maggie Holmes as well. I just love this, so pretty. Cute little bunnies. This is Belle and Boo paper, in case you're wondering. More Maggie Holmes, some more florals. I've got a couple of these little alphabet cut apart sheets, which I do intend on cutting apart. We've got this fun little pattern. Yeah, these ones have fun borders on them. I thought that could be fun to include. Love this floral, and I love this paper with like the stitchy lines. I feel like this is October Afternoon. That's the back of it, which I also love. Sorry, I should have been showing the backs actually, because some of them are single-sided, but some of them also have cute backs. Like, I would use both patterns, so very versatile. So you guys can probably tell by the papers that I've got here what kind of style I want the album to be. You guys know I'm not a very clean scrapbooking or journaling person. I kind of do very cluttered and very chaotic pages. There's always a lot going on, but that's just my style. There's no denying it. I can't help it. So I'm going to be working in that style for the album as well. I love this paper. It's so pretty, and the back of it is like that. So some more vintagey patterns. This one as well, which is gorgeous. The back of it's just like that. Yeah, there is a lot of paper here. A lot of paper, but I don't want to bore you by taking you through all of the sheets, but I think it's kind of interesting in a way for you to see the papers before I use them, and then in the series I do intend on doing some process videos of me putting pages together, and so it's kind of interesting to see how it all will evolve. But yeah, so those, I've got all of those, which is a lot of paper, and I've got even more of it in here. I've got a lot of paper. So more scrapbook paper here, which I'll show you quickly. So there's more of the same kind of style. Anything that looks a little bit vintage. I'm not necessarily trying to do lots of pinks. I'm not really a huge pink person, but if I liked a pattern that was pink, I definitely included it. I liked that one. I feel like this is a bit of a summery floral, which is pretty. I adore this one. So I've got a couple of those because I like both sides of it. This one, and some more florals. So those are, I'm pretty sure that's all the scrapbook paper that I have. And then in the bottom I have some book pages to work with because that's just something that I really enjoy doing in all of my projects. So cute illustrations that I like. And I really liked that this particular book was almost 12 by 12 size. So I thought that was going to work really well for some layouts. So I've got a bunch of book pages in there, and what do I have in here? I've got some paper scraps, I think, some smaller bits of paper, and bits of magazine and stuff even, so stuff like that. And then book pages again, more bits of paper. And these are some papers that a friend sent me that I thought I might like to use. And in the bottom I have this pack of Heidi Swap folders that I thought I could use some of those because I like the colours and florals, so I thought I might be able to use some of that as well. So that's all the papers that I have ready to go, and I think that's going to give me a nice little choice to work from when I'm working in the album. I think it's going to be a lot easier to be able to pull from this box rather than having to go through my entire stash to try and find the right paper. Just kind of narrows it down for me straight away, and it also gives me a clear vision of the style that I'm going for, I feel like, so I can kind of already see how things are going to start working together just by having them all together in one place. So yeah, I thought I'd just for this episode show you what I've got together, kind of a little bit of my plans. In the next episode I'm going to actually start preparing the album itself, so anything that I can do in advance I will be doing, and I'll be doing that in the next episode. So yeah, I know that this series might not be up everybody's alley and that not everybody will be enjoying it, and it won't be relevant to everybody, but I thought that it will be fun to do anyway, and I'm really excited about it. I think it'll definitely get funner as I have photos to work with to scrapbook as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!